Alright guys, hello and welcome. I am Everlasting Version of Everlasting Entertainment. I'm just going to be showing a little guide on how to backdash, green backdash, and also wave dash, how both of them can actually benefit each other. But before anything else, I was going to say most of the time when I'm usually checking out most of these guides, even on YouTube and everything, I don't really see them talk about just backdashing, I guess it's kind of like an unspoken rule that everyone shouldn't obviously know it, but just in case if people know, don't know, I'll just be going over it just for the time being. But let's just get right into it. And so first, we're gonna learn how to wave backdash, wave dash rules. And so, first of all, you're gonna need to know the input of it. So let me just check out what his moves be real quick. Okay, so one of these is imp already. See it like this, that little dash. Alright. And so, for the time being, what we're gonna do is just practice the move. And for people who don't know, it's just forward, down, forward, but at the same time, you can do something like forward quarter circle, which is like the Hadouken motion. People, if this is your first time for playing Tekken in general, then, or maybe a fighting game, not bad, face that. Just a fighting game in general, I would just say it's forward, and then after that you just go press one down on a D-pad, using the D-pad, the same, and then you just rotate up to the right, and then you just do it a little quick, and then you just keep practicing. Just keep doing it. It may take a while, but honestly, if this is your first fighting game, it's gonna be hard. Fighting games are hard in general, so it's something you don't need to worry about. Don't let anything get to your head for that. And so after you feel alright, I feel I'm getting this down, even though you're doing it slow and whatnot, and you feel alright, I can do it a little bit faster, you just start inputting forward, then the same motion over and over again. So it would start looking something like this. I know I'm doing it a bit slower, but it's after when you start doing it for a while, even in practice, you're gonna be hey, this is pretty nice, but your hands are gonna have to start getting used to it if you're pretty new to it. There's really no easy way in there, unless it's gonna be a very arbitrary way that you're gonna learn how to use the pad itself. But everyone's different, But for the time being, this is mostly how you wave dash. Not too hard, but at the same time, it's let me see, the implications for wave dashing honestly is mostly for space. Actually, let me do it real quick. And so I'm doing 4 4 4 and then just wave dash. Maybe something a little bit. Yeah, and then you just wave dash towards them, and then from there you can actually just grab them if you like. Wave dash into the grab, wave dash into the grab like this. Maybe you can just even go up to them and then just block. Or maybe if they're gonna do a high and you know it's coming, you just crouch it. But beware of pads on it. That shit hurts. And sometimes it just breaks the crouching, so just gotta beware of that. But continue on. So the next thing is backdashing. Actually, yeah, just backdashing in general. And then from there, you're gonna learn how to backdash again. Obviously, backdash is just backdash. That's it. Backdash. You gotta get used to it. If you're new to fighting, you just gotta get used to this command. That's it. A little bit different for Tekken, but if you don't know how to run, honestly, just forward. It's kind of just basic. Go forward, move forward, back, move back. But you can actually cancel going back and forth. Now, for a little exercise, we can try, let me see, maybe that'd be too hard. Okay, so we're gonna try back forward 1. Back forward 1. Back forward 1. The reason why, and by the way, since I'm saying forward 1, that means square. Or, playing PlayStation or something else like Xbox or even PC. Everything has different fills, but usually 1, 2, 3, 4 are the, say, say international rules for like everything else, including like stick, anything else. But if anything, I'll put that in the description down below, just in case. Or if anything, I might even put it on the screen for the time being. Maybe. Alright. So, for now, like I was saying before, for backdash canceling, all we have to do is just move back, and then move back, forward one, move back, forward one, move back, forward one. Because what you're doing is that you're canceling the momentum, and then you're going right back. Because every time I go back, if you're noticing, I'm actually spacing myself. You use that to feel them out. You can even just do it a little quicker so you can actually go forward with it. But the faster you do it, the less distance you have. So you gotta keep that in mind. And so now you can actually say, like, if I was playing Miguel, or maybe, and I can kind of do it for him. So I would backstep into like his up forward 3 or his up forward X since I'm playing PlayStation. Well, yeah. Long story short from there is that once you do that, you actually do space yourself a bit, and honestly, anyone with out kicks is actually really good to do it with, like especially Claudio and certain other characters. But you might just want to practice those for the time being, and then you should be fine. And then from there, you should be pretty much good to go, and you can go on to learning the next thing. That's it. But yeah, it's just to help with the neutral for spacing and everything. And I'll maybe talk about neutral another day, just for fighting games in general. But for now, it's just this, just sticking to the basics and going into a little bit harder from there. And so we're gonna get into the backdash cancel with actually let's call it the poor man Korean backdash. And so for spacing, what people would usually do is like back and then press sidestep. And so just in case you don't know, double tap down, sidestep, and you keep holding it. You keep walking while you sidestep. And so just saying that for now. So for now, we're gonna practice something, a little exercise. So we're gonna try back, down, back, double tap down, side up. So back step and then side step down. So back up, side step down, back up, side step down, back up, side step down. And so now, but yeah. So for now, what we're gonna do is that since we know how to backstep and then sidestep down, we're gonna keep on doing that same notion over and over again. And so it'll look something like this. And that will create space for you. Creating space is a very good thing in almost any fighting game. So yeah, pretty much. And so that's something you just need to get under control with, and then you should be pretty much fine from there. Like, a couple people do actually still do in the tournament, and it's actually beneficial for certain other characters compared to others. Like maybe Paul O'Brien, where I'll get into that after. We're almost there. But it's just something pretty useful if you're just like beginning off and I don't want to learn Korean backdash or anything. That's just pretty good, alright? So now the next thing we're going to talk about, let me see. Yeah, I think we can get into Korean backdash a little bit more now. And so, first of all, we need to understand it. Since we were going back and forth, that we have to put down back in between the back step. So we're canceling it. We're canceling the movement. Because if you notice, this is really slow. Right? And we ain't putting in like a lot. So let's try it again. We're gonna back up and then we do it. Back up and then do it. Back up. So the command I'm doing right now is just back, down, back. Back, down, back, down. Most likely have it on the screen if anything, for the time being. If that's okay with you guys. Alright? But back, down, back is the command. There's actually an easier way, sorta, you can call it the sloppy way, you kind of see a quarter circle back from right there on the screen. That's sort of the easier way for doing it, because like you can do it a lot faster that way. And by the way, don't worry about doing the Korean backdash fast at all, because honestly, the more you do it, even when you're doing it slow, you can still get away from certain. You see, Miguel's a character with a lot of them, so it's gonna be a little bit harder. Let me see if I set something down real quick. One of the jabs, just a regular jab right here. Hitting the block. So you can just see that I'm creating space, and it's actually a little bit more space than the freaking regular poorman Korean backdash. And so from here, what we're gonna do is that I'm gonna just show off. No, actually not. I think that should be it for now. And so the next thing that we need to talk about is like the two-player side, the second side. Now, believe it or not, the wave dashing actually helps with the input for Korean backdash. Makes you get used to it on that side a lot more. And the wave dash is honestly easier to do. So it's something that you need to understand. And if you don't feel like you're getting it, and by the way, before I even continue on with the two-player side, one thing you need to understand is that it might be better for you to learn down back first instead of down back quarter circle. Reason why is that if you place a character with a sway like Paul, Brian, you'll do a sway when you're doing the quarter circle motion, and that will actually mess up the momentum and everything. So that's something you need to learn. It's funny enough, I can actually do this a lot faster on the right hand side, but essentially you're either gonna need to do the Korean backdash very fast or a little slow. That's essentially it. It's all about timing, honestly. Once you start getting over the time, you should be fine. But yeah, that's mostly it. It's but now cancel kind of hurts me like learning a couple days ago with it. But I'm just gonna say this right now. It actually does get tiring a lot once you do it like for a while. So it's good to take a break from when you're doing it. Don't be like me, guys. Don't do it. It's gonna hurt. But yeah, that's mostly gonna be it for this video. But if anything, let me see. I might try to do a guide for just get-ups. From like you see, like, you know, what can you do on the ground? What is the best option in my opinion? But yeah, that's gonna be it for now, guys. All right. If you like the video, just tell me in the comments. Honestly, leave a like if you like. A subscriber always helps the channel. I'll put out more videos if you like. If you want to talk about anything else, I'll just be right here. Just leave anything you want, tell me in the comments, and that's it. All right. This has been Everlasting Virgin of Everlasting Entertainment. I'm out, guys. All right. Peace.